Hello, I'm Joel. You can call me Unseens while on this channel and this stream. I want to thank you for joining. Those of you who know me, thank you. If there is somebody here who doesn't know me, thank you for joining. I put together this stream more of a podcast style, which is why you can't see my face, for very clear reason. More of what I'm going to be doing with this stream is definitely focused on the words I'm saying, what I'm speaking about, and I have something that's pretty important to me that I've been mulling over, like whether to share it or not. But I have become ready to share it. I have put together my thoughts, and I want to tell you about social media. Just to give you sort of like a rundown of how this is going to work. I, for now, am not going to look at chat just so that I can focus on what I'm reading. But once I'm done, and it will probably go by fairly quickly, I will look at chat, talk to you guys, see how things are, the likes. But I hope that you enjoy, I hope that you enjoy and get something out of what I want to express. Because the key thing that I want to express is that media isn't really what people think. I don't really know how to accurately explain this, but the thing about social media in particular is that there's a certain threshold where you receive a certain amount of attention, your words and your influence goes from 10 to 10 million rapidly. Basically, if one's not careful with what they say or what they do, they essentially get to the level of internet celebrity without control over their voice. And not in the best way, but in a strawman, one-dimensional persona. It's why I used to get so nervous about social media. Why I used to get nervous about doing live streams. Every post either edited to a fault or a complete dumpster fire of emotional vomit. I get incredibly concerned by what I see shared by people I haven't talked to in a while. It's why a lot of weird infighting is happening. Most of my extremely vocal friends don't realize that their criticisms of the other side are expressions of hate to people I'm friends with and am somewhat close to. I can see online one post against the left from one frequent friend right above a post against the right from another frequent friend. Honestly, I'm genuinely terrified of inviting people to spend time with me because I'm worried that a brawl might break out where half of the people I know start hating on the other half and I have to pick a side. What I'm getting at is that people don't realize that the void that they cast their voice into may at some point be a much larger population than they anticipated, filled with people of different backgrounds and cultures and experiences, with little to no understanding of yours. Anyone can and will come across your influence, directly or indirectly, and will have some twisted form of you without you having any control over it. None. I've been on the fence about what I'm going to do in the future. My major and future career essentially pulls me right into the thick of this. The sort of miasma of social interaction and ideological battles is kind of the basis of what I'll be required to interact with. I want to help influence countless people to grow into more conscious speakers and listeners, media literate, but I realize I may not be able to do that. I may have to give up security and safety of interacting with people I have actually met, those who still know like less than 1% of who I am, and potentially my rehabilitating sanity, I'll have to give that up to achieve the goal of helping people and help influence people to be more conscious of what they do and what they say. To go beyond that comfort zone is nerve-wracking. Every little mistake I make could get blown out of proportions, as we've already seen for other people. Every act will somehow be seen in the worst way possible. Celebrities, journalists, and filmmakers have to feed this beast called the media industry. And if you don't appease, your entire existence is either erased or dragged deep in the mud. There's a reason why these celebrities are doing drugs and dying of chronic psychological diseases. Because of this. I don't know if I can handle it. The best case scenario is that I'm just a random freelancer who nobody pays attention to because he hasn't done anything that gets enough attention for him to get noticed. That's why I have this as an unlisted thing with specific people. The downside is I'll most likely not make the impact I hope to. Healing, connecting, growing, changing, building, serving, loving, leading, crossing ideological boundaries that most are unable to cross because of one reason or another. Best case scenario, I'm fluid enough to make a major difference, but unknown enough that I don't lose my ability to interact with certain people because of preconceived notions. I want to warn the dangers that most dare not consider and express my own personal qualms about media in general. Before I decide whether to jump headfirst into this complex underlying system of humanity, I want to know that I can make these changes with those I know. I want to at least express how I view the world before the world's view of me drowns it out. I want to make sure people realize and fully, deeply understand this. Humans are the ones you're attacking, not spiritual forces that be or elusive political monsters that one shouldn't even fear, but you and me face-to-face humans with all the flaws and fixings and influences and fears and hopes and doubts and dreams that come with living. I want to know that at least something I've done out of concern for people I care about, you guys, has some positive effect on their lives. I want this cycle of social fracturing to be broken. And that's what I have to say. So, thank you to those who've heard and listened, have watched. I see that there is a short few of you. By short few of you, I at least know that Brian is here. Hey, I hope that you've heard and have enjoyed what I have to share. I hope that you would know quite well the stuff that I've been talking about and dealing with, what I had to read and investigate for the past 4 also know that my parents are here, and I thank them too for watching. I am, like I said, on the fence on whether to allow this to be shared or not, just because I have that want for a sense of security. But if it gets shared, it's fine. Definitely did. I'll think about whether I want to change it. If there is any, maybe there was some way to limit. Yeah, honestly, you really can't. You can't. That's the terrifying part. It would be like trying to control humans, but honestly, you really can't. You can barely even control yourself, but to some extent, you can. If you do want to share it, you and who else may be watching or listening, you are fine too. I'll have to decide whether or not I actually want this to be public or not, but that is something I will decide later. Seeing as there is a smaller group than I anticipated, which for me I'm completely fine with, I may stop this short, but thanks again for listening. I might do something like this again, probably not enlisted. I could do it enlisted. I'll have to decide when I do that. But thanks again for listening. Hope that you can get something out of this, and I hope that you have a good rest of the time that we're sort of quarantined, that you stay safe with the whole virus, and that you take some time to be a bit more cognitive of media in general, and how we interact with it, how humanity as a whole interacts with it. So, thanks again, and I will probably talk to you all later.